Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, and this is my sweet angel, Lila. And she is going to show off for you tonight. See these little white things in here? Oh, they can draw blood in a heartbeat. Yes. And she is learning that her teeth belong in her mouth and not around my arms. But you know what? These are good little things for you to keep in mind, because barriers to entry when you are inventing a product, yeah, this is what they do. They draw financial blood. All right, Missy, go play. Go play. So my name is Rita Crompton. I am the inventor lady, and we've had Lila now for 4 days, and so she does make a good little demo for me, and she's always a ton of fun. But when we're talking about barriers to entry, they're not fun. Barriers to entry can be really tough to deal with. Let me give you some examples. Several years ago, we had some people working on a new pet product. It was a pet tag holder. And what they found out was that there were about 4 companies in America that owned all the shelf space. You don't know it when you go in there and you see leashes and collars. It looks like there's, 1,000 different products. All right. All owned by one. Okay. And if you don't get their attention, you're not going to get shelf space. So what do? Well, they made a plan. Imagine that. All right. Plan A, plan B. Remember the talk I did the other night where you've got a backup plan? This is definitely one of those times when you want a backup plan. So what they found out was that the main place where people lose dog tags is at dog parks and doggy daycares. So they started selling their pet tag holders at doggy daycares. They've done very well with it. It takes care of itself now. It's one of those products where it grows up and takes care of itself. And that's what you want. Oh, that was a bottle of wine. No. Hey, you're a barrier to entry and you're drinking wine already. All right. So another one. We had a lady, she was doing a wonderful baby teether. People love this thing. Her first batch out the door, fraction of an inch off. Choking hazard. She had to throw 5,000 away. Now, she knew there was an issue with that, but the manufacturer just messed it up. But if she had not known that that was an issue, she could have gone to market and ended up with a lawsuit. All right. So those are kind of on the negative side of the barriers to entry, and you certainly want to know what you're dealing with. On the good side, we refer to barriers to entry to things that are unique about your industry. So there's some industries that have what we refer to as kind of positive entry issues. For instance, the toy industry. When you are a store owner in the toy industry, a lot of times those owners will take on local inventors' products and help you sell them. They'll help you get those first product in the marketplace, the first sales. Even if they're doing it on consignment for you, they're at least getting it in the door. Ace Hardware is a good one. Where they're locally owned, they're willing to take inventors' products and be able to, sell them, start giving you some traction is what we're looking for. Don't overlook Amazon as being, they're kind of a pain in the neck to deal with, but you're getting first orders. When you I was talking to a gentleman last night, and he said, well, I'm going to sell them on my website. No, probably not. You're not going to, getting traction in the marketplace is not 2 a year. Right? You need, 2 or 3 a day, and understanding price points. So you don't get to argue about price points. The consumer is going to pay what the consumer is going to pay. Barrier to entry. Find out what is the sweet spot. One of the ways you can do this, it's not market research in the traditional spending tens of thousands of dollars. It's making a reservation to go to a professional trade show and walk the floor. Now, I'm not talking here about getting booth space. I'm really talking about walking the floor where, yes, you're going in as a manufacturer of a new product. You're going to have credentials for this. You're going to have to, usually you're looking at $250 to get in to be able to walk the floor. You leave that wine bottle alone, monkey. Anyway, what you're looking for then is being able to get in and ask people questions. When you're looking at, there's going to be a section for new products there, and you can ask people, what did you have to do? What did you learn that were unique to our industry? When you're in the toy industry, you got to pay attention to paints and materials and sizes when you're in healthcare. All right, is this something that you can apply for Medicare and Medicaid? Is it something that you shouldn't worry about? We had a couple from New England, and we're just done now negotiating that deal. But one of their concerns was, would the licensee apply for Medicare? And when the licensee explained the situation, they said, no, we don't do that because you're on the lower end of the cost for the product. And stores just don't want to deal with, doing all the paperwork for a Medicare product. And so we don't do that because it limits the number of sales. And this is all about volume. So when they looked at it now from the business point of view, they say, good to know, because they would have really, messed that one up. And every industry is going to have its good and its bad on those barriers to entry. You want to know what you need to know before you go out the door and start manufacturing. Sometimes that makes the difference between licensing and being the startup, is just that one simple barrier to entry. When you're dealing in the pet industry, for instance, licensing it to somebody that's already providing products to those businesses, that's a good thing. All right. Same thing when there's medical issues and there are standards that you have to meet. Licensing it, they're going to handle that. It was just like licensing the product for the couple from New England, is that if they had not known that, they would have gone out the door and done that. And for lower cost end products, that can just be a deal breaker and first step to being out of business. Going to the trade shows, there's so many reasons why going to a professional trade show is your encyclopedia of information. And we've talked about going and showing the product launch, and being able to show people your product. This is really that early stage reconnaissance, learning your industry, learning what, just the price points and the packaging and who are the big businesses as far as who owns the shelf space. Knowing sooner rather than later is very, very critical to success. All right. So you want to know the big players. You want to know material specific. You want to know, is there a line of stores that will accept products from independent inventors? And there's a lot of them industries that will not. They will not even touch it. And then there's some who will. All right. When you have to figure out, which shows a lot of the sporting goods shows, they're booked years out. So the only way to get in is to walk the floor. But now you need to know, what are the credentials? You can't just sign up and go. What are the credentials that you need to have? And these are all things that you can find out by investigating a show. No, you don't get to eat the floor. Put those little teeth back in your mouth. Yes. What an ornery girl. Those little prickly barriers to entry. Watch out for them. They can get you when you least expect it. And I'm looking at some duct tape coming up tonight. My name is Rita Crompton. I am the inventor lady and the proud owner of a brand new husky who just seems to think that she can get into all kinds of trouble when I'm not watching. Take care, and I will talk to you on Friday.